Let me talk about Jesus versus Islam, because this is the fastest growing religion and the second largest religion in the world. Their founder is Muhammad. He is said to be the greatest man who has ever lived and to be the final and greatest messenger sent by their God, Allah. They will refer to their God as Allah. Their writings are the Quran that they say was revealed to Muhammad by the angel Gabriel. You'll notice an interesting series of parallels between Islam, the second largest and fastest growing religion in the world, and Mormonism, which is the second largest cult that I'll get to in a moment. One individual leader was visited by an angel who gave them revelation for a new book that contradicted God's book. In addition, when it comes to Islam, their view of God is that his name is Allah and he is the only God. Furthermore, they do not believe in the Trinity, and for them, they do not believe that attributing anything like fatherhood or sonship to God is acceptable. In fact, for them, categorically, that would be the worst sin of all. They call it shirk. So if you say, God is my father and Jesus is the Son of God, you will have an explosion among devout Muslims because you're not allowed to refer to God in those personal terms. And Jesus is not God. He is not the Son of God. He did not die on the cross. He did not raise from the dead. And furthermore, he is a far lesser prophet than Muhammad. Number 3, Jesus versus Hinduism. What's interesting now, we're talking about contending. What's curious, in our day, we've got a Republican candidate who's a Hindu, which is different. Previously, if you wanted to be the president, you had to pretend you were a Christian. And I say pretend because that's usually what happened. But today we actually have a Hindu who's running for president and could make an office of some sort or kind. Their founder is unknown. It's a series of ideas and religions and gods and goddesses. There's no singular founder. Furthermore, there is a plurality not just of founders, but gods and writings. So they will believe in the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, as well as other writings. Their God is called Brahman. He is called the Absolute. And Brahman is not a person, he is an impersonal force. It's like the Force in Star Wars. It's this energy that works through everyone and everything as a collective and combined whole. That's why Hinduism, statistically, historically, has been more pantheistic or panentheistic, where they won't distinguish between the creator and the created. Instead, it's all collapsed into one in violation of Romans 1. And furthermore, Brahman is the universal spirit that manifests in multiple gods, goddesses, religions, spiritualities, and ideologies. Jesus is not, and they don't believe in the Trinity, and Jesus is not God. At best, he's a teacher, a guru, or an avatar, which is an incarnation of Vishnu. He did not live without sin. He did not die on the cross. He did not rise from the dead, and he's not coming again to judge the living and the dead. It's a different Jesus. That brings me to point number 4, Jesus versus Buddhism. This is getting more popular in the West, and many younger generations are gravitating toward Buddhism for this reason. It doesn't even believe in God. It's just a philosophy. So there's no one that rules over you or saves you. The founder of Buddhism is, of course, the Buddha, which means the enlightened one. His writings are many: the Mahavastu, which means the great story, the Jataka tales, the Triptaka, which is the 3 baskets, and the Tantras. They do not believe in a personal singular God, and they actually don't believe in a God. Buddhism is a philosophy more than a religious commitment. Their view of Jesus, at most, he's an enlightened teacher, a guru, or a shaman, but by no means God. And then number 5, Jesus versus Judaism. And what's interesting is Jesus was a devout Jew. Those who write the Bible are devout Jews. The first Christians are devout Jews. But today there are some Orthodox Jews that deny Jesus, who is the fulfillment of biblical Judaism. They would say that their founder is Abraham and Moses, and they would believe in the first 39 books of the Bible, the Old Testament, not the 27 of the New. They believe there is one God, but they do not believe in the Trinity, one God in 3 persons. Furthermore, they do not believe that Jesus Christ is God and the fulfillment of prophecy. Now, many Jews do know and love Jesus, but some who are Orthodox do not. And Paul says that the God of this world has blinded them. They can't see that everything God promised was fulfilled in the person and the work of Jesus. And the result is as well that some would say that all the things that Christians believe about Jesus were just myth, legend, fable, and folklore added after his life many years later, and that he was a good rabbi and teacher, but we've made a lot of myths about him. Thanks for joining me. My name is Pastor Mark. I've been teaching the Bible for more than 3 decades and head on constant collisions with woke culture. And I would love to get you more Bible teaching. 2 things you can do. Go ahead and watch the sermon in total and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll just keep sending you Bible teaching and we'll have a lot more fun together.